This program is sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Luby, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Greetings and welcome, everyone, and welcome to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And boy, is it a jam-packed, action-packed day. We're here, special remote show at Shenanigan Sports Pub, which I think is the place to be. Proprietor Pat Utter on this side. Special guest, but friend of the show, not a first-timer, Chris Perkins of the Sun Sentinel. Good to see you, Perk, after your European trip. And good to see that there was no curse of the Perkins after you left. I'm very superstitious. And at that point, when you were just about to depart for this trip, Perkins, the Heat and Panthers were both poised at 3 victories in their respective conference finals. Not only did you move your position on the couch, you actually changed continents and shaved your head, which I was like, it's all going to come tumbling down. Yeah. The Panthers made quick work of everything, but the Heat made things a little exciting. How are you, and how are your travels?
I'm good, man. First of all, Pat, thanks for having me, man. This is my pleasure and my honor to be in here, man. My pleasure. The Heat made it interesting. I was over in Paris at the time, and I was up at 4 a.m, online looking at the results of the game. It wasn't
on any local stations.
I do have the
Sky
NBA.
Sports,
I do have the NBA ticket, but the password is out to my brother who lives in England and a friend of his who lives in the Czech Republic and his son who also lives in.
Getting very.
I know this is getting illegal. So
I love it. Though.
Right, exactly. So I figured they were probably. I know, right, exactly.
Illegal, but not immoral.
And this is my vacation. I like to hear about it.
Yeah, no. Let me just also welcome to the show, sitting in for the first segment of the sports intensive segment, Jeff Defo DeForest, manning the man cave in up in whatever city.
Wow.
It can be undisclosed because for security purposes, in case
Lauderdale by the Sea, my friend, in case anybody wants to send hate mail.
We get nuclear annihilation here in Dania Beach. You will have to take over the nuclear codes from us. So, how are you, Defo?
I'm good, and it's great because I looked down at the screen 1 second, Luby's there, and the next minute it's the handsome one himself, Mr. Patrick Utter. I would imagine that people are already lining up for tonight's Panther game at Shenanigans. And as we always say, Mike Mayo, if you could book the media's action, you would be a rich man today. With regard to the Miami Heat in last night's contest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pat was Pat is one guy who's never lost faith. Even when the Heat were losing those 3 games in a row, he said they're going to pull it out in Boston. There's going to find a way. Didn't you, Pat? You're a man of faith.
Let's go to the gene pool that I was gifted with.
I like it.
We're not really complicated people, the Irish. We're tied actually to shenanigans means mischief, and there's debauchery and drinking associated. So what's the alternative? I could walk around like Chicken Little, like everybody else. I mean, just prefer. It's funny because I'm glad Chris is sitting here, because we have Chaminade 2002 state finalists and John Beeson over here.
Oh, yeah.
So John was on that team and he went on. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this is I'm excited about being in the South Florida area.
Yeah.
I love this. I moved here. I don't want to date myself, but when I came here in 1965, I was a young sports fan, and I couldn't even get any hockey scores. I couldn't get anything. There was nothing here.
There was no Dolphins at that point.
The next year, I was taking a bus to the Dolphins. Anyway, not to bring up the covered wagon stuff.
Oh, here, thank you, Kennedy. And of course, we're having lunch at Shenanigans. Shenanigans is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the one and only. And this is your, I guess, Stanley Cup final and NBA final headquarters. Anybody who wants to have a good time with good drinks, good food, good people, Shenanigans is your place. And the the lovely Kennedy just dropped in some lunch
Oh,
things.
I love that you went with
But
this.
it's so great that you are the eternal sunny
Optimist.
Emerald
Well, yeah,
Isle
I drink-
optimist.
I have
Could
a,
be
I have
the
a drinking
alcohol.
issue. I have a drinking issue. Okay.
Whereas
I
me-
have a drinking issue. Okay, so let's cut right to the chase. And what else is there to do? Where is recess in grown men's lives? It's reading Chris's
Piece in the
paper.
Yep.
It's Hyde. It's you. It's
Yeah.
Luby. It's my buddy up here. And what do I have? What's the alternative? And to see guys in both things. I mean, come on. Basketball in Florida. I
Right.
mean, this is
Hockey
unbelievable.
in Florida.
Hockey
Right.
in Florida.
Hockey in Vegas.
Marlins won. Dolphins, whatever. If I could have been a Dolphin, remember how you used to tease me? I even think you put on there, I'd have the Dolphin flag flying.
Yeah.
1 in 15. Look, we're gonna get Matt Ryan. He stared us in the face from Boston College. No, Parcells, a genius, right? A real genius. Supposedly asked at a car valet, should I pick a quarterback, this guy, or a left tackle, Jet Long?
The Dolphins are where
the long Jake
it's
Long.
where coaching legends come to die.
This was his thought. I think Ryan's still playing, right? Or he's just retired this year. But anyway, this is just part of.
What
part of
Pat
life.
is saying is
It's
that
like having
unlike me,
relatives.
the nattering nabob of negativism and gloom and doom,
Well, you also
he-
think you can win at poker.
I did last week.
No.
I actually
I love
chopped the
poker
tournament.
players because they tell me, well, you just bet on the Heat. You don't have any idea what you're. I bet on the Heat last night.
Well, that
Everybody's like,
reminds- Defo, it reminds me of the.
Oh, you're such an idiot.
It reminds me of the joke I told the other week. The old joke about the guy coming out of the sports book who just looks ashen faced and
Right.
runs into his buddy and goes, "I can't do anything right. I've just freaking lost my last 7 baseball games. I've gone 0 for 5 in the NBA playoffs." And his friend looks at him and goes, "Well, there's a hockey game tonight." And he goes, "I don't know anything about hockey."
Can I tease you with my real quick poker one?
Absolutely.
All right, so poker players are there, and they play poker because they can control the outcome. Okay, so the poker player's there, and he's losing. He's playing. Wife walks up, honey, can I get $50 for the slot machine? Yes. 2 hours later, she comes back, honey, can I get $50? I just gave you $50 2 hours ago. Look at what you're losing. Yeah, but I know what I'm doing here. So that's the same thing. It's 11-12 against you. Go with your heart. I bet the Heat last night, and I was just dancing. I was
Money
walking
line?
out.
Nice.
Money line
I
or
was-
spread?
Money line, straight money line.
Well, you gotta
Nice.
love this.
Straight
Wow.
money line. Head
Wow.
up.
Do you have
I
action
figured
on
it.
the series?
Jimmy, I called it just like I was because I always had unlimited potential, right? And that I never understood, or most likely to improve. I never understood that. The Heat are a real team. They play like a team. Will they win? They might take it to 7. We'll see.
Yeah,
But we got a game going
and
on.
before I get your thoughts, and before I go to Defo for his thoughts of last night's action,
Yeah.
and of course we also have tonight's game. Now it's almost a pivotal game too, because you want the Panthers to show the magic they had before. But I do owe Mike Lubitz apologies. I totally ridiculed him after the Heat's game 1 loss. I said that that they were outclassed and they were going to lose. I said 2 things before the series. I said either the Heat were going to get swept, that the Nuggets were just too good, too big, too strong, and we're going to sweep them. I said, or Heat in 7. So I'm only half wrong at this point. It's not going to be a sweep. It still could be Heat in 7. But Luby said if the Heat just start making some shots, they can compete against this team and they can actually win, not just the game, but the series. So here we are, 1-1. They are back in it. It
Balanced
is series
attack.
on.
Balanced attack.
And no matter
Bam.
the dorky greatness of one Jokic, I don't even know his first name. We just call him Jokic because he looks like Godzilla out there. He's going down, breathing fire and lumbering and throwing elbows, like that. What do you think, Defo?
Well, I mean, they were playing into some awful numbers last night when they were down 8 going into the fourth quarter. Denver had been 32-1 when leading going to the fourth quarter by any margin, so 8 points seemed significant. I thought they were dead in the water, and then it appears, and Luby made the comparison, it was brilliant this morning, when we were watching the Marlins in 2003, and trader Jack McKeon was credited with all these genius moves, when the truth was he was only hired to sabotage the team. and make sure that they didn't make the postseason. And he would pinch run Mike Mordecai. We called him Mordecai the Jew for obvious reasons, even though he was not Jewish, this particular Mordecai. And he would pinch run Mordecai for Miggy Cabrera in like the 7th inning.
Never been PC. Don't worry about
This is not appropriate.
And no matter what McKeon did, no matter what he did, it reeked of like a fix. It would turn out that Mordecai would later come up in Miggy's spot in a key spot in the game and hit a grand slam. And you were thinking, the guy's got one home run in his career. All of a sudden, this move turns out to be a stroke of genius. And that's kind of how it was with Spoelstra last night. I mean, he stopped just short of, signing Alan Ogg and throwing him out there on the court. And if Ogg had come out there, he would have scored 12 points.
Basically, you lost. That's all I'm hearing. I'm just hearing a big bunch of rea-tat-a-tain that you lost on it.
I'm very happy for the Miami Heat. Plus 275. That would have taken more guts than I had, Patrick Utter. But I thought the 8.5 point allotment was pretty generous. It wasn't looking so good when they were down 15 and getting run off the court. But how can you discount them? I mean, it's the ultimate Cinderella story.
You know what? I do. First of all, pizza incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the shrimp scampi.
Yeah.
Guy.
And
When are you coming back?
Again, for people who want to watch
Man, this-
sports, you come in here. His menu is encyclopedic. He's got everything from
Oh, my
gator
God.
bites that we now have
Look
in
at
front
this.
of us
You're going
to meatballs properly prepared with ricotta cheese and some fresh basil.
Wow.
He's got pizzas from a nice 2-deck Baker's Pride pizza oven that has the shrimp scampi pizza that is a Luby favorite. And I've got something, of all things, my sister-in-law, the lovely Tracy, they ordered out last Monday night, and they had, she said for the first time she got this Southern Cuban sandwich, and she explained it to me. She sent me a picture of it. I was like, that looks delicious. And it's a basic Cuban sandwich, but for the pork component, they use the shredded, pulled barbecue pork from your smoker. So you get this smoky pulled pork with your ham and cheese and pickles and mustard. This is a great sandwich, Pat Utter.
Taste.
You guys are doing are doing some bang up work here at Shenanigans.
Thank you.
And
Man,
again, for anybody coming out, we got lots of sports activities in the next 2 weeks. With the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, and this is your local sports headquarters. Pat, some proprietors out there who, maybe watch a game every now and then. This is super fan. He loves his local teams.
I was the sports editor of the South Broward here. I interviewed Keith Moorcroft's dad, Ed Moorcroft. He was one of the first NFL refs, and Ed Playstead. I follow I read everything, old school newspaper, cover to cover. If I can watch Stephen A. Smith and I don't throw up, then I can watch I can listen to that egomaniac.
Let me say this real quick, Pat.
Yes,
see if you agree. And Defo, this is also for you, though. I think one thing that people are forgetting with the Heat is Eric Spoelstra. And to me, in the NBA Finals, the longer the series goes on, the more the coach becomes a factor, because there are so many adjustments you can make from game to game and in game.
If he had the talent in Boston.
Well, and
did you see that guy?
Yeah,
he looked like a deer in the headlight.
He has already beaten two teams that are more talented, right? Milwaukee and Boston. And putting Kevin Love in there last night in the starting lineup, right? And you're handling Aaron Gordon, who killed you in the first quarter in game one, right, with 12 points. So Spoelstra, and the other thing is Denver has not been here before. Right. And we saw that last night, didn't we? They lost their composure numerous times, including Spoelstra
Jimmy
has
Butler
been.
in the bubble has been here.
Listen, I think that Mike Malone should have taken a timeout before that last possession and draw something up, get the ball into Jokic's hands, right?
He should have.
Yeah.
Drawn up
whether
one
Jokic
play.
takes the shot or not.
Did you see that shot he took?
Jamal Murray takes the shot.
We're here on the Lunchbox.
But I think that Spo and Denver not being there are two factors that weigh heavily in the Heat's favor.
We're heavy on the sports talk today, as we should be, because this doesn't happen ever in South Florida. We have two teams in the finals. And Defo, I got to give you credit, because I know for all the and Perkins is giving Spoelstra props, and obviously he's been there before. He's a brilliant coach. He's a future Hall of Fame coach. The moves he makes seem to work. And the national media now is picking up on the Spoelstra is a genius and all this, but I'm giving you credit, Jeff Defo DeFarce, because I really think the difference in game two was make your shots. That's it.
Who makes shots wins game. It's
So,
the old Chinese proverb.
No shots made. Game two, lots of shots made. All these chess pieces moving around, fine. But the fact is, the players that did nothing in game one came alive in game two. Whether it was Martin Strus, all these players, Duncan Robinson, $90 million man. Defo, the name of the Division III school, it's in Massachusetts, the Eastmen, the Williams College, Williamstown,
Yes,
Massachusetts, and the Berkshires. I know this because they were a dreaded, hated rival of our Tufts Jumbos in the NESCAC. Division III, no athletic scholarships awarded. New England Small College Athletic Conference. That's where Duncan Robinson got his start. Won a Division III title with the EAFs, they call them now. Rhymes with Chiefs, stands for Ephraim Williams, the founder of Williams College. The other big rival with the Lord Jeffs of Amherst College. This is some real heavy-duty artillery, sports, athletic programs.
This sounds like when they were introducing the coach, he goes, there's little nuances there I can't quite explain to everybody. But you just kind of brought me up to date on that stuff. I was listening.
I love that. First of all, I love his story. I love the fact that he got $90 million and everybody was like tearing their hair out. Like, this is the worst deal in NBA history that he got robbed. But he turned that game around last night single-handedly with the 2 plays, the big 3. And then when he drove to the basket, when everybody thought he was going to hit a try for another 3, that to me changed the whole complexion. And that's when you said, wow, this team has got Denver on their heels, and now they don't know what's coming, and they have to it was great. It was great to watch because now we have a series on, all that stuff.
The key to that game was the lumbering giant. 41 points. He only had 4 assists. I just saw him dribbling down the court on the replay here. He looked like a lumbering giant being surrounded by a bunch of guys that were ready to take him down. And it just goes back to that mentality of team play. This guy was trying to shoulder the whole load, okay? He wasn't spreading the ball around. The Heat came with intensity. Obviously, the ball was dropping, but no one gave him consideration on that travel time, how they were tired from the 7-game from the Boston series. So when they showed up there, they were a little exhausted. Altitude, all that went into it. They regrouped themselves. I'll make a prediction.
Yep.
They win both games home.
All right.
Both games.
Bold.
Both
They're
games.
going to take a 3-1 lead.
Bold. This guy's gonna wake up.
He is.
They put it on the Giant. The Joker's got it, right? The Joker's got it. If he goes and try, look at him trying to work.
You're gonna book that action, Defo?
Look at him trying to work the ball in.
You're gonna book that action.
Okay.
I wouldn't take on Patrick Gunner in any capacity when it came to winning or losing.
The Heat at home. Now that doesn't mean that they don't get woke up just like Boston did, and it could go a full 7-game series.
Yep.
Because now you're 3-1 going back home. But when they get down here, if they count, look at this guy. He's already exhausted.
We're watching the big screens all around us here at Shenanigans.
Look at him. He's talking to himself.
Highlights. They're replaying the game. Oh, we're watching the replay of the game, Defo. Defo, I wish you could be here because
yeah, I know it'd be nice. I see that food is awesome, and I've been there. I love Shenanigans. You know that
thing because we haven't seen it in a while.
When you get in your 70s, you got to be a little cautious.
I mean, he was on antiques. He was waiting for an antique sale, and he's under COVID.
No, it's nothing personal, Pat.
I'm getting mail addressed to people that are elderly, which is unfortunate. So it's good if I don't have to travel. I would say this though, and just it's so funny because they say that luck is a residue of design. I think it's just the opposite, and I think some of the things that happened with the Heat this year are just pure unadulterated luck. Because Pat Riley, who's lurking in the background, he wore out his telephone call limit. There in the office, trying to get rid of Lowry, trying to get rid of Robinson, trying to get rid of virtually everybody that's on the roster during the course of the season. And now all of a sudden, these guys are coming up big and paying big dividends.
Perkins column. That's hearsay.
My sources stand by what they told me.
Listen, every time my wife wants to get rid of me, I start taking the garbage out. I start to go on my diet. I start getting a little sun. I go for a brisk walk.
He had that Robinson contract in the shredder. He was willing to just go ahead and pay the guy the money and get rid of him.
Everybody approaching a contract.
Look at the man. The man, he's talking sports. He's being Mr. Hospitality. He's cutting up meatballs. These look fantastic. I don't know if I've had these meatballs in a while.
Meatballs. That's my mom's recipe.
Wow. So, again, your mother was Italian. Your father was Irish.
No, they didn't last long.
So, and it's proper. Look at this proper meatballs. You go for it there,
Yeah,
Chris
man.
Perkins.
Take a little
This
piece
is Chris Perkins' first remote edition of the show, and he now
It is.
sees how Mike Mayo is ballooned to ungodly proportions. We are no
Hey.
longer using the K word. We're no longer really even doing the K thing. No, just leave it for now. Yeah, drop it right in there.
Right.
Drop it like it's
There
hot.
we are.
And
all I see here is good whole food, man, that won't hurt you in
Got
any
shrimp
way.
scampi
Well,
pizza.
All good for you,
listen,
baby.
You haven't met my wife. We have a arugula salad.
God.
We have
There you go.
quinoa. We have
What a great
all
pizza.
these. We have the
Pizza.
bean burgers, whatever they are, black
Right.
bean burgers,
Right.
all that. But everything on my menu is everything you shouldn't eat. Okay, that's just
Can I ask you some
This
food
is where
questions?
you come for fun, Pat.
Yeah,
This-
no,
yeah.
I'm going to ask you some food questions
Go ahead.
real quick because
Hit
this
me.
ostensibly still is a food show,
yes, sir.
and we're on with the 100 and almost 7,000 members of the Let's Eat South Florida
Wow.
maniacal food group. Gator bites, where do you get those from? Is that
Well, we actually have a local source guy. His name is Brian Wood, Woody Gator.
Mhm.
Woody. He has in what the misnomer with them. They're farm raised.
okay?
They're farm raised.
Where?
That's why up in North Florida.
Okay,
like
so it's
near
not
Lake
right out of
Florida,
the
Lake
Everglades
Florida.
here.
No,
and-
no.
oh, okay.
North Florida, and we buy it. It's all tenderloin, and we just do it up
They're
ourselves.
delicious.
You like them? They're a
I've
little
never
good.
had them before, and again, sometimes we get the
Abalone,
query on Let's Eat
conch.
South Florida. Where do you get gator bites? Do you like gator bites, Defo? Are you a gator bite guy?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I don't go out of my way necessarily to order them, but if they're being served at Shenanigans, and especially they're part of a Mike Mayo Lunchbox show, I would be asking you to at least, save a few of those for me.
Sleeper conch.
Oh, conch. You get conch
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, I got conch all the time.
Pat, let
And
me ask you
conch
this, though.
Yes, sir.
To put more of my ignorance on display for the public,
No, that's fine.
you said it's all tenderloin. I thought gator bites came from the tail.
Well, they do.
Okay,
yeah,
it's the
I'm sorry.
tenderloin.
Along
part
the
of the
back,
tail,
yeah.
okay.
I'm sorry, not the backs, not the
Okay.
back strap.
All right, all right.
Okay. Second question. This shrimp scampi pizza,
Oh, that's
outrageous.
incredible.
It's I guess, a white cheese blend on here. Do you
Right.
know what cheeses are used?
Well, I know that it's a combination of all the three whites. That's it. I would be able to.
so that would be like the Fontina and
The
mozzarella.
the mozzarella, and the provolone.
provolone, not
Yeah.
Asiago, provolone.
No,
Okay, it's a creamy deliciousness, and it goes
Incredible.
perfectly with the shrimp. You get these. Are these the Key West pink shrimp or some other?
I would love to say they always are, but I don't know.
Not always. Okay,
No,
but
not always.
it's a
But they're
delicious
nice,
pizza.
huh?
And for a change of pace, if you
They're
want
wild shrimp. Though.
to be
Yeah, they're fresh. I mean,
something
Yeah.
different than the usual pepperoni or the the usual vegetables of meatballs that you get on a pizza. Sausage. That's what it is. Sausage
there
or
you go.
pepperoni. Good seafood alternative. Did we lose somebody? Are we Chef Defo at the far? Is he still there?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, good. I don't know because Luby's playing around with things. He always gets me nervous, but I'm not nervous. I'm a very
Actually, it's great to observe what the real beauty and essence of this show is, which is Mike Mayo parking out on great food. And it's fantastic. And Patrick, you are the best in terms of instigating Mike Mayo into and helping him come back to himself.
Yeah,
'Cause, I think he's been on these crazy kicks before, and he ends up at Shenanigans, and that's it. He realizes, that there is a God, that there's a reason that they make this kind of food.
I don't like texting him during. I don't like to say this, but as a gambler myself, I network with a lot of guys that gamble, and I just strictly there's no logic. There's got to be luck associated with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
the last card,
you
the
got to
river.
realize they come up with the line. They come up. But when you just get a strong feeling about something, and my whole thing with this was every time they discounted the New York Giants when they beat the New England Patriots, right?
Right.
I mean, you think, oh, they did this, they did that. That's one game. I'm not saying that this goes. If you follow
You
basketball,
just said they're going to win 2 more straight games at
Exactly.
home. So
I think they might.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say they're going to win the whole series.
Right.
7 games is like when Leonard wouldn't sign with Hagler to fight 15 rounds. He knew he was going
this
to lose.
Heat team seems
All right.
to like drama.
Yes,
and,
they do, and they woke up.
And they
And
woke
they're going to
up.
play like monsters
Exactly
down here
what
again.
we needed.
There was a little
Let's
cooking there.
pivot real quick before the first race at Parks is calling, and Defo has to be in because I don't know about you, Defo. I had the worst weekend of gambling in a long time, probably because
no,
we
I was good on Friday.
in
I
a
was very good.
tournament on Wednesday. You almost like have no shot of turning that into even more. I gave back, like I said, I had 500 in my pocket on Friday. Guess how much is left, Defo?
0.
You
Blue
want some
tar
shrimp
steak,
pizza to go?
0.0.
I hope you can take care of your servers at the Shenanigans.
I always have a little bit left over, but
He does. He's very good with that.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I have that going for me. So, Defo, let's talk hockey tonight. It is game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The game 1 was Saturday night. We have not been on since. Again, the Panthers had that look of team of destiny when they scored the equalizer late in the second period to tie it up at 2-2. And I thought, here we go again. This team has the look of a team of destiny. They always manage to find a way to score and win when they need something. But instead, we got a third period that was right out of the early part of the Bruins series when they looked like they were going to be one and done again. Are you demoralized after that, or you think it was just a matter of scraping off the rust and this will be a competitive series? But how pivotal do you see this game 2 being?
Well, it's a pivotal game, too, as all games in all postseason series are pivotal, including game 1. I wasn't discouraged by that. It wasn't like it was an overwhelming dominance by Las Vegas. They did control the action in the third period, and they got the goals. But up until that point, it was toe-to-toe action. And I think they're very similar teams. I really do. So, and the Panthers, they had some tough luck in that game. I mean, that Cousins shot, hits the guy's stick arbitrarily. They hit a couple of posts. They were in it. I don't think that they were outclassed.
As soon as that save happens with Cousins, he didn't really whack it in that hard. And
no, he whiffed a little bit.
He whiffed a little bit. And then when the edge, the heel, and the save, and what's the guy's name? What's it, Hill or
Hill? Yes.
Yeah.
Hill.
I mean, as soon as I saw that, I said, uh-oh, when something like that happens. And in hockey, you see it a lot, where whoever gets that kind of one crazy, fluky break ends up winning the game. And sure enough, that's what happened. But it's one game, and I have full faith in the Panthers to come back. And even if not tonight, even if they go down 0-2, I still think that this is going to be a long competitive series.
Panthers had a bad job to do that day.
Yeah.
That people don't put the perspective on it. Did you see that arena? Did you see how
it was crazy?
Okay, right.
I mean, they exhumed Liberace and Wayne Newton from the dead. Wayne Newton, even dead, like, Siegfried and Roy, they were tigers jumping and leaping.
They didn't go sit on the bench like Boston Celtics did. They had to go sit down, right? They kept firing and fighting, right? But they went into the lion's den, and I'll tell you the truth. I think they took a hard shot right to the mouth. The frustration was at the end of that game. They were warring with each other. They woke up a lion. Those people woke up a lion. The Panthers have to come out. They travel. Anybody go to Vegas? You ever feel good when you got there?
Yeah.
At the beginning, getting off the plane.
Right? Okay.
Always.
All right. So let's see what happens tonight. That'll be a real indicator of where we're at with that team.
Well,
they're a scuffling
Perkins,
team.
do you have any thoughts on
the
Panthers game 1?
I would say just in general for both the Heat and the Panthers that going down, if you go down 0-2, that's one thing. But when you go down 0-2 and you come back home, at least you have that. When you go down 0-2 at home and then you have to go on the road, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed. But both of these teams play so confidently at home that I have confidence that both of them will take at least one home game. Yeah. That I agree with. It's not crazy for me to see the Heat taking both of these.
No, you got to go against the norm. Everybody would have said that the Heat is swept. What's that guy that works with Smith? He stands up, he talks. He had the broom. They stink. They're horrible. They're good. Yeah.
Oh, don't pay attention to those.
So anyway, he's up there. His narration. Okay. So when you did this, you woke them up. They woke up. They were so physical, but the balanced attack and bam. He was great. Come on. What a guy this guy is.
Look, it's I don't know what the word is. Luxuriating in the beauty of having both teams.
Who'd you rather have to win this series, or if they both go 7?
No, I mean, I predicted beforehand. I thought the Heat were going to lose, and I thought the Panthers were going to win. It could turn out to be the complete opposite, but we'll see.
I say Panthers because Heat have won a title before.
Right.
And then everybody in town would have a title.
Right. Right.
That you know, you
Except
you,
the
you hate
Dolphins
to pick
since the Nixon
Well,
administration.
yeah.
Sorry, Mr.
What era? How far back are you going?
Not the
Chris?
time frame. Come on.
You notice who's chiming.
There's a statute of limitations. on that.
You
on.
notice who's chiming in.
Right.
Well, he's the only one who remembers
the
that.
The guy who has
I
made
was
several
my
house
buddy in
payments
Lauderdale
losing
Lakes.
money on them.
I was in what was I in 4th grade, 3rd grade?
You
the
gonna
last
go
time
over
the Dolphins won a
Go over to
Yeah.
Taco Craft later.
We will talk some
sandwich.
Dolphins.
Excellent.
Chris
I had
Perkins.
sandwich. I had part of the sandwich
That's
now.
good.
I've had the
It's one of the
pizza. I've had the meatball, fries,
And what's your
fresh gator
proclamation?
bites.
Let's not stop
Excellent
there.
food. The
Let's
pizza
keep going.
takes it for me right now.
This is
Oh,
why
that pizza
it is
out of this
gets the
world.
double
Out
barrel
of this world.
thumbs up, Lunchbox approved, Gambling Gourmet approved, Pat Utter, Shenanigans Sports Pub, the place.
Oh.
Not, even if there's no sports games going on, now there's everything
And
going
you know
on.
what's
but
weird about
come
you
here.
guys being here, being a gambler, being a drinker, being all these things, being Irish. We're impervious to any self-examination.
Oh yeah. No.
Look, the guy called me up and say, you jerk, you were wrong. They lost 2 games. Did I say that? I don't remember.
We have the tape, but
Every day is a new
impervious
day
to
in the man's
self-examination.
I
Impervious to
care.
self-examination, but as Defo knows, highly prone to self-sabotage, right, Defo?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I love about hockey, though? One final thing on the Panthers. How is it that in hockey the two teams hate each other before the series even starts, even though they rarely play during the regular season? I mean, they were already throwing fists and punches and tackling guys and cross-checking viciously in the first couple of minutes. And fights were breaking out all over the place. It's a great way to start the series. They already were swinging.
There are grudges here going back to junior hockey, I'm sure, and the junior leagues.
They hated each other right at the start.
Even an Irishman can
You
even
can't even hide that hatred with those beards either.
Yeah. Radko Gudas is my hero. He should become a spokesperson for Shenanigans. He really fits the bill there.
You know what's really good to watch hockey, like I do here sometimes, with no volume on it?
Yeah.
If you ever really watch it, it's the most insane-looking thing to watch.
Oh, it's
the way they're fighting with those
Oh,
sticks
yeah.
and hitting each other.
And the way that Kachuk, when he's an instigator and he's getting in fights, and then he just smiles, he gives that little impish smile, like, go ahead. And hey, you know how I'm watching the game tonight, Pat?
How are you?
I'm gonna do something different. Me and my daughter and some friends of ours with another teen friend of hers and another dad. We're going to the Sunrise Arena.
Wow.
Because they are having these free watch parties
Wow.
where you gather, sit in the seats,
Look like fun.
and you watch it on the big screen. They did it for the Heat games at the whatever they call that arena now, the Kasaya or Kumbaya Arena, and then they're doing it now at the South Florida Live Arena. No, it's not South Florida Live, just Florida Live. And I don't know what they're going to charge for parking, Defo, but I'm willing to pay it tonight. I'm not going to go spend $1,000 on tickets.
$40.
But I will get into the arena. I did it during the Rangers Stanley Cup run. I covered the home games for the Sun Sentinel when the Rangers actually won the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1940 in 1994. But was it 94 or 92? Now I can't even remember my years. It was the year of the OJ chase. I believe it was 94.
What?
Yeah, the Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers.
But at Madison Square Garden, they opened it up for the road games in Vancouver, and it was filled. It was like 19,000 fans in there screaming to watch the game on a big video board. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. I don't know how many people will be out there, but I might even spring for some of the concessions too. What do you think
when
of
you
that?
had that 2,500, do you think you'd ever be worried about parking on Monday?
No.
That's why I love you. When I was walking,
I think you better smuggle a pizza in
when
there,
they put
Mike Mayo.
Michael Mayo up there, what place do you come in on that tournament?
Coming off the Sawgrass.
Yeah, but they put you up there when you were in the poker tournament, and now you're thinking,
I could afford the parking
I know,
tonight.
I'm just
and
teasing you.
I know.
The fact you mentioned it, though.
And I'm not sure, Pat. A lot of people do the free parking across the street at Sawgrass Mills. No, I'm willing to whip out the credit card and
There you go, man.
them
Support the community,
anything
baby.
they
Support
want
the community,
to just
Mayo. Look at
pull
you.
right into the parking
love
lot there at the arena and not have to schlep across the street and possibly get hit by
on entertainment value. Heat next to Panthers. Me being hands down way bigger basketball fan than hockey fan. Entertainment to go with the family, go with your daughter, sit there. for the show they put on, the Panthers are unbelievable.
Oh no, hockey in
You'll be on
person
the
is great.
Trinitron, you'll be here, there'll be everything.
I wish I could go to one of the Stanley Cup final games, but I don't want to spend a lot of money to sit up in the nosebleed section. So I'm going to watch the home games. I'll watch at home. The away games I'll watch at the arena. It makes no sense, but that's me, a man of contradiction.
Perfect.
Yes. Defo, before we, I guess.
Complete reverse logic there, Mike Mayo. I love it.
Well, don't try to figure me out, buddy boy.
When you had the 2,200, you could have afforded half a seat.
Yes.
Now the 2,200, you could have been in the upper deck there for one of the live games.
Most of it, but actually some
I
of it.
set him up for that.
Yeah,
one.
That's it. We're here at Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. It's a great place to come for
We gotta
lunch,
have some
dinner.
chicken wings.
The wings are beautiful
We have
here.
to have some wings.
Those black and grilled
Yeah, we
wings,
need to have
and even
some
the
wings.
lemon garlic parmesan
All
have
right.
become a new favorite of mine. But look at it. He's so we're loaded up on food, and he's trying to give us more.
No,
This is all what he's about. And let me also say it's Monday, and
Which one did you want?
just as hospitable
Yeah,
as
lemon,
Pat Utter is,
lemon
so
pepper,
it goes
yeah,
with
garlic.
the people at Tropical Acres
Give 5 of
Steakhouse.
those. 5
And
black
Monday night
grilled.
means half price wine night. It
And
also
just
means
5
twin lobster special night because
eat.
that's Monday through Friday. 2 steamed Maine whole
Thai.
lobsters for $39.
Huh?
The Studiali family, masters of hospitality, just like Pat Utter. They're at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania Beach. I love Tropical Acres. They're open every day but
Yeah,
Sunday,
black
but they will be open for
Make them
Father's
10.
Day.
10.
Is Sunday, June 18th. They're going to be open from 3 to 9 p.m. for Father's Day. So if you don't want to cook grill steaks on the grill, call them up for a reservation, 954-989-2500. That's Tropical Acres for Father's Day, Sunday.
Nice
and,
place.
of course, they're open Monday through Saturday, the rest of the week. Half-price wine night tonight, Monday and Tuesday. And, of course, half-price drinks and light bites specials in the bar for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. Tropical Acres, tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Wow.
Defo, you want to throw it away, and then we'll
I'll toss it
try
there. I mean, we have 3 of the greats on the dais there at Shenanigans, and that's in Dania, a beautiful thing. Chris Perkins, the handsome one there, and of course Mike Mayo, who the only thing he hasn't tried is the grilled mahi sandwich, which I recommend wholeheartedly. And of course the great Patrick Hutter, and those guys will be back, and they'll be eating some more. And I see Luby is actually bringing food. He's like a runner, a kitchen runner in the background there. So
producer,
that's great.
Runner, food runner, and also we got to give away. We're doing the contest, Defo.
Oh, that's right. Did you have a winner?
We're going to do that after the break. But you know, one of the names in the hat this week. Tom
Bonnie.
Tamazzini. No.
Oh yeah, Tommy T
31.
hit it. Beautiful.
Tom T is in the hat. We'll go over that, the Gulfstream 10 Palms contest, after these words. Defo, I hope you crush them at Parks today. Bet the 7-5 all day.
I'm heading out on a walk of life, my friend. I have to work off the calories that you guys are eating. I got a vicarious thrill just by watching you guys slobber down all of that food. It's great.
Excellent. We'll see you on the show tomorrow, Defo.
All right, I'll be out there. All right, thanks.
And we'll be Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. The huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, daily specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day. Open 7 days until late. Parking available on site. Happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at ArubaBeachCafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back here on the Lunchbox, special remote sports intensive NBA Finals, NHL Stanley Cup Finals show at Shenanigans in Dania Beach, 1300 South Federal Highway, with proprietor Pat Utter, a super fan, and Dolphins columnist, analyst, and general great guy, all around sports knowledge, Chris Perkins of the Sun Sentinel here on the Lunchbox. Gentlemen, we've said goodbye to Defo. He says he's going for his walk, but we know he's betting the early double at Parks, but that's okay.
Of course. Where's he walking to?
To the nearest OTB up in Hollis, Queens or something like that. It's a long walk, but before we get into more, we can do some Dolphin talk too with Perkins, but we've got some business to conduct, gentlemen. This Saturday, Pat, it's the Belmont Stakes, and I know that there's no Triple Crown this year, but you have been known to dabble in the thoroughbreds. And are you going to be going out to Gulfstream?
I had Madge to win. One ticket.
Okay.
One ticket.
Madge. Well, I had
on the first,
I had a pick 4. I had a really good Derby day too. I actually ended up netting like a few grand, so that was good. I know you're bigger numbers because you're a man who loves to go double-fisted, but it's shaping up to be a good Belmont Stakes. Not only a full field, and I guess possibly the return of Forte, the Kentucky Derby favorite, who unfortunately had a scratch.
He can't win that and win the Stanley Cup. So
Vinny Viola, co-owner of Forte, who again had to scratch hours before the Kentucky Derby because of a hoof injury. But anyway, this Saturday is going to be Belmont Stakes up in New York, but at Gulfstream Park they're having what's called the Taste of New York function. Our friend Joe Beja up on the 3rd floor in that Flamingo room. Nice. They're hosting a kind of culinary and drinking festival, all things New York, Italian food, pushcart hot dogs, some sandwiches of pastrami and corned beef, and some Asian food, Korean and dim sum and Chinese things, all for the Taste of New York. That's $75. You go onto their website, gulfstreampark.com. But then on Sundays, they have their big Sunday brunches. And actually, they're going to be doing in 10 Palms a Belmont brunch on Saturday for also, I think, $65. But, we have our shows there every Friday, and we'd invite you out there anytime you want, Pat, to come sit in with us. And Joe Beja does a good job as their
great job.
director of hospitality. But we have our little contest here. And, every week I give out a series of restaurant questions, trivia questions. Last week, basically it was this long-time Italian restaurant up in Pompano that is known for their great garlic rolls. And I'd never been there until this year, and I liked it a lot. Do you know the name of it was Johnny's? Have you been to Johnny's?
No, I haven't.
Atlantic? Good family-run place. And so Johnny's restaurant was the answer to that. And then the horse that won our contest race this week was a maiden 2-year-old race, and sure enough, it was Lasso. The horse that I thought was going to be the favorite actually was not the favorite, ended up going off at 9-5. But Lasso, the number 4 horse, was the winner. That means a lot of people had number 4. We have 10 slips in the hat, Pat Utter. And what happens is if you win, you get a Sunday brunch for 2 at Gulfstream Park. Our friend Chef Tom Tanazzini is one of the 10 in the hat. There were actually 12 people who got it correct this week, Luby. 2 of them didn't make it in the hat. You know why? You got to read the rules, folks. If you've won in the last 3 months, 90 days, you're not eligible to win again. And 2 of the people, you must have had a good time there at 10 Palms for the Sunday brunch because you tried to get back in the hopper and you did have the correct answer and correct horse, but we could not put you in there because of the 90day rule. So
that's a good job by your security department.
Oh, yeah.
They're on it.
Crack staff of
incredible.
IT.
Yeah,
I have the sheet, and I said, that name looks familiar. Sure enough. And some of it was close. It was on the line. I think one was like only 3 weeks away.
I just saw some hang-ups on this.
That's all right. But we do love.
Just hung up.
That's the box.
We love people being.
There's no one watching the show now after that announcement.
So
all the
here we go. I'm going to let
gone.
Pat do the honors. Just pick one slip of paper. Make sure it's 1 and open it
One
up.
and done.
One and done.
All right, let's see
open it up. Who is this week's winner at 10 Palms?
Hold on a second.
It
See here. Toby
something.
and Friends.
We don't know Toby's last name because he
Toby
comes
and
in.
Friends.
He's been in the hat a couple of times.
Toby came through.
Toby and of Toby and Friends email address. You are this week's winner. You and a guest will get an all-inclusive brunch at 10 Palms, and that includes 1 mimosa, tax, and gratuity. Nice. But if you're going to be drinking a little more, make sure you also tip a little more for the extra imbibing there. And again, you can pick a date between now and the end of July at Gulfstream. They're racing now Friday through Sunday.
That is nice.
They're redoing the
weekend.
turf course again, and so they're on the dirt and the Tapeta track. But the weekend racing there is nice, and of course they have the full simulcasting. So that Sunday brunch is now yours, Toby. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, you want to talk a little Dolphins, guys? We talked Heat. Obviously, they're in the middle of stuff, and we talked Panthers. They're in the middle of the stuff, but it's always Dolphin season in South Florida. People love to know what's happening. Chris Perkins, is there any new developments? You can fill me in on what do they call them? The workouts, the non-volatile OTAs, the OTBs,
right, exactly.
Wake me when the preseason's over. What's happening with the team? What's the word on Tua? Is his head straight? Are the cobwebs all gone, or what's happening?
Never be gone.
They'll
never be gone.
You know what? They're hoping that they're gone. He took the jiu-jitsu lessons in the off season so that he could learn how to fall without that whiplash effect of his head hitting the turf. Tomorrow they get the last of the off-season work. Well, the before training camp is the mini camp, 3-day mini camp. I did a story today in the Sun Sentinel on Devon A-Chain, the running back, the 3rd-round pick from Texas A&M.
Yeah, speedster.
Speedster. But, I talked to Jimbo Fisher, his coach at A&M. He said 2 things that you will be pleasantly surprised with Devon. He can run between the tackles and pass protection. Is that he will stick his nose in there and he will take on the blocker. So 2 things to look for from Devon A-Chain. He's a small guy, 5'9", 188. But if he can run between the tackles effectively, that's a big bonus because then he's not as predictable because defenses are going to look for him to bounce it outside. Dalvin Cook, Minnesota has not done anything with him yet. So the Dolphins are not going to trade for Dalvin Cook. The hope is that Minnesota will release him and then they can pick him up and they can add him that way, add to Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson.
We're getting granular here on the Lunchbox, and without naming names, we don't want to upset anybody, but no, we do upset. We upset many people every day because that's how we roll. Pat, during the break, we were talking a little bit about McDaniel, the coach, and the seasoning he needs and maybe was lacking. What were your thoughts on that? Yeah, I know you were, talking with Perk about where he is. I
don't think people really can comprehend it, growing up with the 72 Dolphins, seeing all the sports heroes, Nick Bonacani, the CTE. My heart, it starts with the quarterback and the coach. Let's face it. Look at Belichick without Brady. What's he done? He wants to talk about himself. Brady went down and won another Super Bowl without him. I'm very, very reluctant to say anything, having known the money that he makes and my concern for the guy's health with Tua. I really, straight up. I've seen great athletes, boxers, people. Once you get into that concussion protocol, and you saw him walking across the field and he just dumped it, right? You could send him to any MMA camp or anywhere you are. His cranium's loosened up. It's up. It all lies with him. And I love the components, and I love the coach. The coach to me is such a real guy. Mm-hmm. Talks about his recovery. Who does that? I mean, a beautiful human being, and he sounds like it's all there. If Tua can really stay alive, and like you said, this speedster, get the ball out to him. I'd like to have this excitement. I haven't had this excitement like I had.
Let me frame it like this for Chris. I mean, the overriding concerns about Tua and his concussions. Do you think that's just going to be an elephant that never goes away, or if he gets a start like he did last year, or it's just going to have to prove it by lasting through a season and being able to be successful through a whole season?
He's just going to have to prove it. There have been guys, if you look at Jalen Phillips, the Dolphins edge rusher who retired from football briefly at UCLA because of concussions. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had a concussion in years, and so now you forget about that with him. That's where Tua has to get with this issue. He has to go a couple of seasons without a concussion, and then you kind of say, okay, he's over it. But I'll give you another thing with Tua, Pat, and for me, it's who's looking out for Tua's health. And we saw in the Buffalo game where he's stumbling around and he doesn't leave the game, and then finally he does. Tough kid, but he comes back and they say it's a back injury and it's a head injury.
You could see it was a head injury.
And so then the NFL goes way to the opposite side with Teddy Bridgewater, right? And they say he stumbled. The league, I'm not sure the league knows whether it wants to protect players or protect its investment, make money. And so I worry about who's actually looking out for Tua. That, you've
always got to look out for Tua and his family.
Can I tell you from the high school level where they're given big contracts to go to college, who's looking out right on up? Nobody. They're gladiators. Nobody. Nobody.
We got wings in the house. Thank you,
nobody.
And that's right. And that's where, it's one thing when that's a knee injury, but with a head injury, you kind of, for a young guy who's got a family. But anyway, I don't want to bring it down.
That's why they like taking their money up front. Guaranteed money, and that's it.
But it should be a good Dolphin season. We're optimistic.
Yeah, bringing in triple wings. Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's
all right.
incredible.
We got Dolphins talk. We've got a wing fiesta here at Shenanigans. We do have to take one more break, and so I'm going to put in a good word for my friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. That's another Hollywood institution. Again, they've got, of course, parts for your chicken wings and all poultry and better than that, they also, more than that, everything there is great. They have the steaks, the seafood, the fish, the freshest fish right in from the Gulf and the Keys, shrimp, the clams, anything you want for, again,
nice
summertime.
Too.
Oh, yeah, everything they have there.
Nice
we love Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. They're at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Doug Carter and his crew, they've been doing it for decades. They've been there in that location since the early 60s. And they'll take great care of you. Again, one of those old school joints where they know your name, they know how to take care of you, good value, great quality and selection. Go to Delaware. They'll open 7 days a week. DelawareChicken.com for the weekly specials and the daily offerings that you'll find from in the fish case. And again, we'll be there for our monthly remote later this month on a Thursday. Don't have the date yet, but we love going to Delaware. Better yet, go in there, shop, and cook to your heart's content. Great food, Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And we'll be back after these words to wrap up a action-packed and wing-filled edition of the Lunchbox from Shenanigans with Pat Utter and Chris Perkins. And we'll talk the most important thing of the whole hour, Perkins' trip to England and Europe and Paris. We got to talk food with him. What did the man eat overseas? The jet setter himself. We'll be back. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices, served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Man, we've been eating up a storm here. We had the gator bites, the meatballs, the shrimp scampi pizza, the Southern Cubano sandwich, and now Wings Fiesta. We got the black and grilled, the standard buffalo, and this is one that I've gotten to like a lot lately, Pat. It's I guess it's the garlic parmesan lemon pepper garlic. That's a good wing. A pile of minced garlic, and it's fried just right, man. That's the thing. It's not like soggy with like sometimes things are fried with old grease and they get soggy and he's all delicate, nice. He's all well cooked, and he uses the good antibiotic-free wings.
No hormones.
They're really
no antibiotics.
Excellent.
But you brought up a good point. Why you can't do it that easily at home. This is the highest BTU fryers you can get.
There you go. You can taste it. You can taste it. Yeah, you can taste it. I'm serious. You can taste it.
Locks in the juiciness, crisp on the outside.
No,
we're all happy foodies here.
Yeah.
All right. Enough sports talk for the day. Perkins just recently went away for a week. He traveled across the pond. His brother got married in Exeter, England. But he also spent time in London and Paris. Tell us about some of your food adventure. Did you eat anything really interesting, intriguing? Fish and chips?
No, this is going to be disappointing. But I covered the basics. I had the fish and chips. I had steak frite.
Okay.
I had a crepe. I did not have a cafe au lait, but I had plenty of British brews. So, but
any high tea? I mean, I know the high part for you, but did you have any tea?
I did have some tea. I had some tea at my brother's wedding, of all places. So, yeah. So it was good. It was good.
I mean, what's not to like when you go across the, see different countries, play with different money. It's not even real. It's like Monopoly money.
Yes, I know, steak frite. Well, here's what I like about steak frite, which is just meat and potatoes, because everybody thinks the French are so stuffy and they got to have their sauces, meat and potato. Right. That's a main. Thank you, Pat. And that's what I like is that, you can say all you want about the French being stuffy. Everybody was very nice. I speak no French. and I didn't have to.
They were nice to you in
Do you smoke
Paris?
cigarettes? Then
Nice.
you fit right in.
No, yeah, I know there are a lot of
A lot of
cigarette
smoking
smoke.
going on.
A lot
And
lot
what
of
about
vaping now.
cultural stuff? Did you take in any of the museums? Did
We,
you get to the
we
Louvre?
were only there for 48 hours, so we stayed in the Opera District. So we walked around that's the 9th arrondissement, right?
Arrondissement. That's correct.
Arrondissement.
Yes.
So we
Très
walked from there to the Louvre, down to the Eiffel Tower,
Nice.
down the
You
Champs-Élysées
did.
to the Arc de Triomphe.
Arc de Triomphe.
And
That's it?
and we walked
Good.
11 miles the first day in Paris, 15 miles the second
What?
day.
Oh, wow. You put
Didn't even
Defo
take-
and his
didn't even
walks
take
of
the
life.
metro.
Have one of these
It's a
on? You
shame.
have a watch on?
Well,
Yeah.
the phone.
What about
phone-
the calorie
How many
meter?
steps?
Was that running too? Because mine would be at about 5,000 a day in Paris. for,
Yeah, no,
calories.
it was. We walked off
baguettes.
almost everything. It was incredible. And then in London, it was like 10 miles the first day and 12 miles the second day.
Has British
So,
food
yeah.
gotten better? I mean, I
No,
hear
no.
that.
No, I look, and I love the Brits, but the food is bland.
Okay.
It was very bland.
Did you have
But-
mushy peas
I
and
did.
Yorkshire
I actually
pudding?
did. I didn't
Yes.
have Yorkshire
Do you
pudding.
really love them?
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
No, I do.
No,
My
they're
brother,
right too.
because my
No,
brother,
listen,
no,
I'm
because
Irish.
my brother
We really
lives there.
love the-
Yes, my
listen,
brother
listen.
lives there, so that's
When
why I
I'm
love
talking
them.
with the Brit,
Yep.
especially when they're drinking, I don't care who knows
Yep.
this. It's like Tua playing football. You have to be very careful where you go, what
Right.
you think, because they're waiting to just come
Just
at you.
pounce.
on a roll.
No,
Well,
no.
I don't know. The
No,
Brits. When I go to London, I like eating Indian food because they
Yes,
do have
yes,
some of the
yes.
world's best
Yes,
Indian
Yes, they
food.
do. They really do.
And
I
it was
tell you.
very reasonable when I used to when I was a student there. But gosh, that's going back almost 40 years. That's crazy. Hey, we're almost done for today's show. Couple of program notes. We're going to be out remote Thursday, welcoming our newest sponsor, Gilbert's 17th Street Grill up in Fort Lauderdale. The great Gilbert family, Lenore and Richie, run the burger shop there. Do you get in there at all, Pat? It's
I have been there. I like it very much.
yep. Oh, it's a good. They do again another nice
See, I'm an
Fa-
anti-Yelp guy, so I can't comment.
on Yelp.
Yeah.
Well,
Or any
who says
search
anything about
engines.
Yelp?
No, any search engines.
no
Oh.
search engines.
Yeah.
Forget.
They
but-
know you, huh?
No,
Yeah,
you don't
they
need a
know me.
search engine. All you need
Speak
to,
my mind.
you got my number.
I don't care.
Just text me. I'll give you all the good spots. You don't cut out all
No, I
that
love
middleman.
Gilbert stuff.
The other thing is, later today I'm going to be up in the Delray Beach. The Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napolitana is opening a branch in Delray Beach. Now, they came to Plantation. We were there for their opening week with the granddaughter of Frank Pepe himself, Jennifer Bamonte. I don't know if she's going to be up at the opening in Delray, but I'm going to be out there for the Best of Delray app, taking some pictures and maybe eating a little pizza there.
Clam
because
pizza.
the clam pizza, white clam
pizza.
pie is the New Haven delicacy. So that's opening. And speaking of New Haven, a pizza, our friends Wade and Reese are back tomorrow in action after one of their quarterly breaks. They'll be back at Pizza Spot in Fort Lauderdale starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 6th. So if you've been missing their good pizzas, the thin, crispy New Haven, well done style, head on out there in Fort Lauderdale starting tomorrow, back open. That's going to do it, Pat Utter.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much. Prediction
Thank
for
you.
tonight's Panthers game?
They got to win.
They got to win.
They got to win.
We
They got
want 'em
to dig
to
down
win.
deep, and they got to win this one.
Pat, you missed the opportunity for the Mr. T. Pain.
Yeah, they got to battle.
Yeah. The question is,
You know what they're saying? That layoff.
well, 9 days. The
Yep.
problem is when you have the hot goaltender who's seeing everything.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
look, he looked pretty sharp in the first two periods, but it was that, and again, the third period, one of them was an empty net goal. One of them was this fluky screen that he couldn't really see most of the way, and it got deflected.
Uh-huh.
I can't say he played bad, but again, they gave up more goals than they had in any game in a while. Maybe he can get back on track and locked in.
I'd rather be the Panthers going into it than Mike Malone going into his game.
Okay.
Okay,
For
Mike Malone
the
blew it.
Nuggets, right?
Yeah, I'd rather be the Panthers just sloughing it off and going in
Well,
there. trying
you
to win.
think it was a key miscalculation not taking a timeout? Probably right. I
Oh,
think
come
the
on.
thinking there
it's
was
a no-brainer.
they were just in a flow, and I guess it was scared thinking of that. If he takes a timeout, then Spoelstra
Right.
also gets the chance to set his
Right.
defense, and he would rather
Right.
roll the dice on a
Compounded by
less
the off-balance
prepared-
shot the guy took.
yeah. Well, it wasn't a good shot at the end,
No.
but you know what? We're happy here in Miami
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
South Florida because it means the game is on, the series is on, and tonight we see if the Panthers can follow suit and equalize their series on the road, and hopefully we'll have a
This is
long
not preseason.
7-game. Wouldn't it be cool if
This is
both
the
games
finals.
go to
Final.
both series go to Game 7?
Oh
Because
my God. June 16th.
I couldn't even do that, and
be
you would
talking-
like that because that
I'll be
means
dancing in the
max
streets.
revenue
I'll
for
be
the
dancing
sports.
in the streets.
Maybe.
I meant to ask you though. You seen bigger crowds for both teams?
Oh, come on. Yeah, who
Yeah.
wants to sit at home?
Yeah.
Me, I have my son. I make him come out of his room.
Yeah.
He's, he went in there at 15. I don't think he's coming out till he's 18.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on out here.
Don't
right
ask
now.
him what he's doing in
Yeah,
there.
come right out. What? I want to watch the game with you. I want to have a son on the couch with me.
Right.
Oh my God, you're yelling at everything, Dad. Come on, it's the heat.
Well, you know me. This whole long playoff thing. I've been out here a couple of nights. It's been a great
Yes,
place
sir.
to come and watch. Cheer
Hey,
on the
and Pat,
local teams.
You'll like this. I've said that this for South Florida. This is the year of the unexpected, right?
Yes,
Because you had
yes.
FAU in the Final
Oh, my
Four.
God.
You had UM in the Final Four. UM women in the Elite Eight. Nova Southeastern men went undefeated and won the D2
So
title.
let's talk
And now
about-
we've got the two
Let's
8
talk
seeds, the
about deer in
Panthers
the
and the Heat.
headlight coaching. Let's talk about FAU. Right?
Yeah, well,
same thing. Same thing. I'm
Dusty
sorry.
May. It was a
You-
little
no, it
unfortunate.
wasn't. Listen, not unfortunate. When you've not been there, it's like me being this 30 years. I'm like, cocky, yeah. Come back and see me in 30 years and see I had a fire in the kitchen. I had this, I had that, whatever. This guy, Malone, he blew that game. He needed to regroup his
Strong
people
opinions.
and take the
The
shot.
next Stephen
He
A.
blew
right
the
here.
game.
Well,
Just get it to the Joker.
I would say
Call
this.
him
I would say
Pat
this,
A.
Pat.
Utter,
Though, that
right
I would
there.
say
He
this
is.
that the Heat took that from Denver.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
Denver was at
intensity.
home. The better team won last
Oh,
night.
All right, guys.
definitely.
We're going to see who's going
All
to
right.
win tonight. We're going to see who's going to win on Wednesday. Man, we could just sit here and eat and talk sports all
You know,
day.
younger people
Most
come
days
out
we
for
do.
these games. 8 o'clock
All right.
start time.
Chris Perkins,
There we go.
thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for having
out.
me. Pat,
Pleasure
thanks
to
for having
finally
me.
have you. Pat
Great,
Utter.
great food.
Pleasure
Thank you.
as always. And
My man.
we'll see
What
everybody
happened
again.
to Devo? Where's he walking?
He's probably off a long
placing
walk
a
off a
bet.
short
He's
pier
placing a
if he
bet
keeps
right
betting
now.
against the
He's
Heat. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on the Lunchbox. Remember to enjoy every chicken wing, every gator bite, and enjoy every sandwich.